Okay, in this video, we're going to be talking about division, understanding what the operation is, how it relates to the other operations. By that, I mean addition, subtraction, and multiplication. And then also, how can we think about division when we're doing it mentally in our heads? So we're actually going to start by quickly reviewing the relationship between subtraction and addition. We talked about if we have a problem like 13 minus 9, okay, we could think about it as 9 plus how many more is going to get me 13. Okay, so addition and subtraction are opposites of one another and they're related. It's the same with multiplication and division. So if we have a division problem, such as 30 divided by 6, we could think about it as 6 times what number would get me to 30, or how many times do I have to count by 6 to get to 30? And assuming we know our times tables, 6 times 5 is going to get me 30. Okay, I also wanted to touch on a little bit of vocabulary. It's not super important. However, we still, should go over it. So in this in this division equation, 30 divided by 6 is equal to 5. We call the number that is being divided the dividend, okay? So 30 is the dividend in this situation. 6 would be the divisor, the number we're dividing by, and then the quotient is our answer to this division equation, okay? Great. So let's talk about how we can use this understanding of division to help us to compute answers mentally, right, when we see division problems. So let's start with 56 divided by 4. Now I'm going to be drawing some things out on the number line, okay? So let's also, right, we're going to assume we know our 4 times tables. 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24, 28, 32, 40, 44, 48. Okay, this is 4 times 1 times 2, 3 times 4, and so on. Okay, so we have these in our head, right? We know our 4 times tables. Now I'm going to look at this and think, okay, what's the biggest multiple of 4, or at least it doesn't have to necessarily be the biggest, but the more comfortable one that I could jump to in my head, right? I'm counting by 4s. Like how many fours do I need to get up to 56, right? And instead of counting 1 4 at a time, if we know our times tables, we can jump, okay, to larger multiples. So let's go ahead and just jump to our times 10, because even if we don't completely have our times tables memorized, right, like I said before, the times 10 should be one of the ones that we learn first. So I'm going to jump all the way to 40, okay, and that was times 10. Now I need to get to 56. How much more is that? That's 16 more. Okay, that's actually another one of my 4 times tables. 4 times 4. So I'm going to go another 4 times 4. In total, how many times did I multiply by 4? 14 times. Okay, so 4 times 14 would get me 56, which means my quotient, or my answer here, 56 divided by 4, is 14. Okay, let's look at 2 more mental division problems here. And again, we're going to think about how we can use our times tables. So we're going to start with 792 divided by 8. Okay, terminology. Our dividend here, 792. Our divisor is 8. Our quotient we will find when we get our answer, okay? Since our divisor is 8, I should be thinking about my 8 times tables. Okay, I will list them out here. 8, 16, 24, 32, 40, 48, 56, 64, 72, 80, 88, and 96. Okay. So here we're going to have to combine what we have learned about division with our understanding of the powers of 10 and how we can use our times tables and the powers of 10 to know even larger multiples of a certain number. So I look at 792. 792 is pretty close to 800. Why do I bring up 800? Because we have 80 right here, okay? This is 8 times 10 is 80. Remember that if I know 8 times 10, I also know 8 times 100 would give me 800. Okay? So let's show this on the number line. We imagine we're starting at 0. We want to get to 792. We can jump from 0 straight to 800. That is 8 times 100. Okay. Have I undershot or overshot my dividend, the number I'm trying to end up at? We've overshot it, right? How much did we overshoot it by? Well, by 1/8. So instead of counting by 8 100 times, right? That means this is simply 99 times, okay? So 708 goes into 792, 99 times. Okay, we're gonna do one more before we wrap this video up. So this time we're gonna be dealing with our 7 times tables because 7 will be our divisor. 854 divided by 7. Okay, so in this case our dividend is 854, our divisor is 7. Again, our quotient will be the answer. So, like I said, we're dealing with our 7 times tables. 7, 14, 21, 28, 35, 42, 49, 56, 63, 70, 77, and 84. Okay. So take a second, look at these times tables, and think about which one of these could be helpful to us. Remember, we're going to basically multiply up to 854. Okay. If you picked 84, great job. So 84 is 7 times 12. Well, if I know 7 times 12 is 84, I get ahead of myself. If I know 7 times 12 is 84, what else do I know? 7 times 120 is 840. Okay? Add a 0, right? We talked about the powers of 10. So I'm starting at 0. I'm going to jump all the way to 840. That's 7 times 120. Okay? From there, where am I trying to get to? 854. What am I missing? I'm missing 14 here. Okay? That's another one of my 7 times tables. 7 times 2. So I had 7 times 120 and then 7 times 2. So in total, right, how many 7s fit into 854? 122. Right? We combine. So our quotient, our answer here, 122. Okay. Hopefully that helps you to better understand what exactly division is and also to be able to think about how we might solve these problems mentally, right, without doing it out on paper. In our next video on division, we will go over the algorithm, right? We call it long division. How do we do this out on paper? But it's also really valuable to understand what division is and feel like you could do these in your head as well. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.